crazy. Yeah, I mean, every name was getting thrown around right there.
Yeah. An idol from earlier in the game.
Where was that?
On Exile Island. It was just in the Cove.
When did you go?
When we swapped and my tribe lost and Joe sent me. I feel like my best shot of winning this is sitting in the final three with Chris and Andy. I think that people will view Andy as floating to the end, and he doesn't have any big moves that he made. And I think that Chris would give me a little run for money, but Marshall would be harder.
My ideal final three is me, Justin, and Andy. I think Andy doesn't have a big enough resume to make a splash, and me and Justin are pretty much even. And I think that I was really the one pulling the strings behind Justin's back, so it's getting down to the wire though.
Immunity back. Now playing the final immunity challenge of the day. It's called Live by the Sword. Here's what you'll be doing. You balance a cup of water on the end of a sword. You may only hold the sword in one hand. At intervals, we will move the stick that you have to hold the sword by back so that eventually you're only holding on by the very tip. All right, last one to drop wins immunity. 3, 2, 1. This challenge has begun. Okay, you may move your cup and move your ruler down to the knife. 3, 2, 1. Andy is out.
That's okay. They're probably all going to bring me to the end anyway, so.
You may move your cup, move down to the lowest level. 3, 2, 1. All right, you'll have 15 seconds to move on to one leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your foot touches the ground or if your cup falls, you are out. Chris is out. It's down to Justin and Marshall. Justin's wobbling. Justin with a great recovery. Can he keep it? Marshall with a nice recovery. Marshall's out. Justin wins. Final immunity. Thank you. Congratulations, Justin. You are safe for this boat, and you will be in the final three. We'll find out who goes with you.
It's tough. It's
that
super
was
tough.
not easy.
No. You guys are on a long freaking time.
Oh my God, I was like, I am not letting this thing fall. We're heading into the final vote. I'm so happy I have immunity. While I was holding my sickened cup, I just literally kept thinking, if Marshall wins, you will not have a shot at winning this game. And for the last couple rounds, I've known this is the move I wanted to make. I wanted to be in the final three once we got down to like 7 or 6 with Andy and Chris, because I think that's my best shot. I could very well lose to one of them, and if I do, that's okay. That's how the game goes, but I'm gonna fight like hell to win the votes, and hopefully I can win. I wanna honor what I said earlier.
With the... Oh, okay. Well, which one do you want to honor?
Sorry.
Yeah, because we said two different things.
We cannot beat Marshall in the end. He's the biggest.
Too many.
Everyone knows he's played a fantastic game. He had a big hand in a lot of those people on the jury. He's super likable. he will beat anyone in the final 3. Do you agree or not?
I do agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
I'm voting for Marshall.
Cool.
We've been working together from the very beginning, but he will slaughter us.
Yeah, every single person. For sure. I completely agree with you.
Okay.
100%.
I think you, me, and Chris have the best shot to
I don't know.
go up against it. We all have different stories.
Yes, for
Whereas
sure.
Marshall will say he manipulated everyone, he masterminded everything, and we will all just be goats.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree.
That's 100% what I'm doing.
He's commenting is bullshit.
I mean, it definitely rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I mean, not that he's wrong, but I mean, if you don't want that to be true, then I don't know.
I mean, who do we want? I think we should just go red. It gives us the most equal advantage, you know?
I think that regardless, it's not going to be a super easy choice.
Yeah. I mean,
He might have pissed off the least amount of people.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and he has. I mean, we had to screw over all of the red team.
That's true.
I mean, I'm writing Andy. I'm not even. I'm gonna tell Andy that I'm voting for Andy. So.
I told him I'm gonna honor what I said earlier. I want you and Andy's final 3.
But is that for sure?
I'm 100% doing that. Andy said he's 100%. Because if you think about it, none of us have a shot against Marshall.
That is true. But when you said earlier, like, I know.
And I was just using it to like
I know.
use it, you know. But
I mean, I was upfront with Marshall. I was like, I was threatened by you.
no. But he if I need to sit next to him in the end, he wins. And
Yeah,
even
truthfully, if Andy had immunity on, I might have voted because you're also strong.
Thank you. But I think that if he sits in the finals, he, like even Chad said to me earlier, like if Marshall's in the final, I'm voting for Marshall. And it just like I think a lot of people will with Marshall. He's super likable. He had a big hand in a lot of
And he did a damn good fucking
He
job.
did a great job. I think it's like a compliment to him that we don't want to sit with him.
My
if you-
survival instinct says yes.
Okay.
My like integrity says no. But I'm
Dude,
just like
it's a game.
It's a
He
game of
loves
survival.
the game. He will respect the decision.
Yeah, I'm sure he
he's
wants to
gonna
just plan it like a
he's
son of
gonna
a
try
bitch.
and force a tie. Like if you want to get tie, if he ends up in the, I'm telling you, if he ends up in the final 3, game over. I think you and I have a better shot. I think if it's me, you, and Andy, one of us will win the game. If it's me, you, and Marshall will win.
He'll beat me for sure.
He'll beat me too.
I think he will.
That's what I'm saying. He will beat us.
This
Yeah. Fuck.
Wow.
It's you or me. It's you or me.
Yeah. I don't think Chris is done. And
He won 2 challenges, but yeah,
which is great.
yeah, and like you're the last non-red person, so we have incentive to do that. And then obviously I've been a target for the past few votes, or my name's been floated around. So
And it has. And it was that last time.
yeah, man. I mean, we're this far. There's not much we can do.
We did. Do you want to vote off Chris? Or is it me?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
My story, my journey.
From my perspective, I just don't know. I don't know how many friends you have over there.
Not that many. I really
Yeah.
don't. Justin Bieber.
Oh, I know.
He did that last time.
He did his move. He did his move. He saved me. And now it's I'm trying to like figure out how we can do
Good at a competition.
this. No.
Give you a
What if?
competition. Yeah.
No. What if?
You want to do 2-1-1?
Yeah.
That's 2.
Yeah. But we say we're pitted against each other. We vote for Chris. You tell Chris to vote for me. I'll tell Justin to vote for you.
Let's do that. That works
Yeah.
for me. Yeah. I and you and you can like a
Yeah, dude.
We have a good second story.
Yeah. I'm.
Marshall might have a really good, might have a really good plea to the jury, and might be able to say like, hey, I did this and this and this. I feel like I did that too, and I had a much longer game where I was already trying to control and survive before him. But Chris, he has these immunities, and he's been a part of some power moves, and so that might be something that he can play to the jury as well. So those are my two options. I could go with Chris, because I might be able to beat him better, but I also feel like me and Marshall helped turn the game around at some point too.
I feel like all of our names have come up at this point.
It's going to be inevitable. There's not many choices.
It's been crazy and stuff. Justin told me Marshall, and he has a good point in that he's played a good social game and everything, and has a lot of friends on the jury. That makes sense to me. I don't know. What are you feeling?
I am
I have
torn.
no immunity wins. I
know.
had no hidden immunity idols.
I am torn between I mean, honestly, the thing that you were saying earlier in the challenge, he probably is the most likable. Sure as fuck I may.
Yeah.
So I think that
I'm cool with that.
I mean, I did vote him last time. He knows it. I told him I was threatened by him. Like every vote, I feel like I say it every time that I think it's me, unless I have immunity. It sounds like it's going to be between mostly Marshall and Andy, but I know my name has been thrown out there because I feel like I'm in the middle ground. I'm not the person who's performed or strategized the worst, but I'm also not the most likable or maybe played the most obvious game. So I feel like I'm in the middle, and I could be safe, but at the same time, you never know what's going to happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if I was completely fucking blindsided.
Man, you couldn't give it to me. It was close, man.
Yeah.
Killed my hand, but
Yeah. You love the game,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We've been working together since the
Yeah,
start.
man.
We both came here to win.
Yeah.
I can't beat you.
Are you serious? You don't think so?
No. And this is out of respect, I'm telling you. I don't think I can beat you.
No.
I want to win.
Okay.
And I might be casting a vote for you.
Would you throw a vote for Andy?
As for like a tie?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. I will go up against the challenge.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. People have been saying on the last few rounds,
Yeah.
Marshall will win, and then Marshall. Because you played a
crazy.
fantastic game, and I don't think people realize you and I have been working together from
I
the
know.
moment. So I think
Yeah.
no one realizes that.
Yeah.
And I think that it's been awesome playing with you. No, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Because we have been honest with each other from
Dude,
the start.
give me a chance to fight for it.
We'll see.
I did not know that everyone started catching on to my game, so that was surprising. I thought I was keeping it under wraps, but Andy is my saving grace. If I did all I could, I asked Justin to vote for Andy. If Chris votes for me, and then me and Andy vote for Chris, it'll happen. It's really all dependent on Andy though, because it'll either be us three in the final or me and Chris going to one last challenge, which I hope I get a chance to. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's all up in the air now. It's out of my hands.
Final four. 3 of you are going to the final 3. 1 of you is going to join the jury and decide which of the final 3 is the winner. Justin, you're definitely going to the final 3. You have immunity around your neck.
Thank you.
So, who do you bring? You know?
I think you have to look at the jury and look at who's left and see who you think you cannot beat, and that's who you have to take out.
Andy, are your feelings on that the same?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been going over in my head what's the best move to make, what would give me a shot, and all, and potentially having a different, unique story too would also be very helpful as well. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Chris, how are you going into this vote?
I'm a little torn. I'm torn between being strategic and ethical. I mean, it's already been hard voting people off, and this one is probably the decision that makes or break all of our games. So I really don't know until I touch that marker to the paper.
Marshall?
I think this is the move. This is it. This is our last chance for the for the few of us who have been kind of behind the scenes, just paying close attention, doing our homework, not really getting our chances with some of these bigger threats. I think this is the chance for that resume to finally get written.
All right, and with that, we are going to vote.
I still am torn at this very moment between picking who I think deserves to be at the end and who I think I have the best shot against. Because part of me thinks that I played too subtle to win regardless, but I don't want to throw my chances away just in case I can plead my case better than I feel like I can.
It's all up to Andy, the GOAT. Either I'll be in the final 3 or I'll do a challenge, or they all turned on me, so see what happens. An immunity idol in here? No, it's gone.
First vote, Marshall. Next vote, Marshall.
Oh.
Next vote, Chris. Chris, we have a tie. Marshall and Chris, assuming you guys aren't going to change your votes.
So, can we talk?
You can talk for a second.
If Marshall gets to the end, we are handing him the win. You have to change your vote. No joke. You have no shot against. We have no shot against Marshall.
But do I have a shot against you guys?
Yes, better than me. Better than me.
You guys have both won immunity.
If Marshall wins a challenge and goes with me and you, we're done. We will lose to him. It is a no-brainer. He will win. If you go with me and Chris, you will have a shot. This is your move. You could say that you made to have a shot.
I'm not going to change my vote.
All right, we're going to go into a challenge. The way this works. It's called skulls or sails. All right. This is the head position. I will read a series of instructions. After I've read the series of instructions, you will then do what I told you to do. There will be starting with 3 instructions, and then 4, and then 5, and moving on from there. There are 2 different things that you might be doing. You might be flipping, which means flipping is flipping from skulls to sails. All right, that's flip. The other action is swap. Swapping would be swapping 2 cards places. All right, you're gonna have to remember all the instructions and then do the thing. Flip all colors. Flip red and blue. Swap red and blue. Go.
Done.
It's not a race. All right, you're both good. Reset. Flip all except green. Flip all colors. Swap red and green. Swap yellow and green. Go. One of you is right. The other one is wrong. Chris, you are going to the final 3. Marshall, you are headed to the jury.
Really good job.
Good job.
That was so hard.
Good job, bud.
Got my chance, didn't get it. That's all I got. Survivor will always be my number 1, so. Justin's really smart. I never thought I'd be a bitter juror, but I'm not sure how I'm gonna vote right now. So, I don't know. I guess we'll keep seeing what happens.
We have the final three here. Congratulations to the final three. Chris, Justin, Andy. Now the power goes over to the jury. Let's welcome in the members of the jury. Rebecca, David W., Elise, David S., Joe, Megan, Chad, and Marshall. Voted out at the last tribal. Alright, so I'm gonna have each of you make a brief opening statement. We'll start with Chris, go down the line to Andy. The jury is going to either give a question or a statement, something to decide your vote, determine your vote, and then you'll each give a brief closing statement.
I think I deserve to win because I think I was able to adapt my personality really well to succeed in this game. I mean, some people might consider that maybe more sly or deceitful than necessary, but I feel like I didn't have to throw many under the bus or flat out lie. I just took my personality and internalized it and used the normal, like, crazy Chris energy and focused it into listening, which is something that I don't do a lot in real life. So I feel like I was able to hone that and navigate socially, and I think I did quite well in some of the physical challenges, and I ate 4 lemons.
I came here to play, I came here to meet good friends, but I also came here to win. I love Survivor, I love this game, and I tried to play a social game, a strategic game, and a smart game. I think that my biggest reason for taking out or wanting to get out Marshall at the end, we were working together from the very first moment in the game, but he got a lot of credit for the moves that we made together, and I was driving those moves, but he was kind of the front man of it. So I knew if I sat next to Marshall in the end, he would get credit for a lot of those moves where we made a lot of those moves together. It's a game. I hope no one has hard feelings. I definitely made some moves that people might not be happy with, but I'll own it. And I really hope you can see that I played a hard game and I came to win.
Andy?
I came into this, not thinking I was going to win any challenges, and there we go. I didn't win any single challenges. My idea coming in was to be the assistant coach. I wanted to kind of say anybody but me, but put somebody else up there that everybody else would look at. I feel like that's what I did on the Topanga tribe early on with somebody like Alonzo. After the merge, I felt like all the big names were all going after each other, and if I could just say one thing to Joe or one thing to David S. or one thing to somebody else and say, hey, play your idol, or hey, everybody's doing this. That was kind of my game plan, and it just kept me sneaking on round by round. Maybe it wasn't the most impressive game because I didn't maybe win an immunity challenge or play an idol, and it wasn't flashy, but I had to adapt by going to almost every single tribal council today without any protection the entire time.
All right, let's turn it over to the jury. Rebecca, we'll start with you.
Right. I think everyone's gonna hate me because I do have some questions. My vote is totally up in the air. I just have one question for Chris. You said you honed your energy into listening. How do you feel like you flipped that and turned that into gameplay?
Well, because I feel like out in the world, I'm a really loud, often obnoxious person that I think is really, when I walk into a room, I feel like half the room is gonna like me, half the room is gonna hate me. And I feel like I didn't want to bring all that energy here and immediately be like, that's someone to watch. That person is gonna be either too much or I'm not gonna trust him because I also kind of have resting bitch face. So I tried to channel all that I usually put in my, in all the movements I do and the volume of my voice into strategy and just tell myself in my head, just listen, play, navigate through this. Don't just do your normal bull in a china shop shit because it's fun, when you're at the club or wherever out hanging out. Take that energy and for once harness it in a way that is beneficial. And I mean, I guess it did work. I mean, I think that I played a good social game and I was able to listen and adapt. I was also on a team where everyone thought I was going first, and I think I was able to I don't want to say weasel, that's a negative connotation, but listen and think my way out of it, and I think I did that.
I'm Justin. So you seem to be playing a game where you're sort of always slightly behind, like kind of pulling the strings behind something else. I think like that's how most people see it. Why did you feel like that? If you're going up against somebody that if you want to take out a person that could take the credit for what you feel with both your moves, why didn't you put yourself out there as the player in the front?
I think coming into the game, I have an aggressive personality. I'm usually a leader and a physical threat, and I wanted to always be behind a Joe and a Chad on physical challenges. I threw a couple challenges and wanted to pick up more in the end game once they were out, because they were always a target. Regarding strategic moves, I felt like if I would have been the face of them a lot of the times, then I would have been the target. So I did all of my moves behind the scenes to make sure that I was not a target. I'm the only one who never got a vote the entire game. No one ever voted for me, and I think that shows that socially and strategically, I was always influencing the vote. And I was a part of every single vote, minus when you were voted off. I went to Megan and I said, play your idol for Rebecca, because obviously we had made a deal to try to go a little bit further than we actually could in the game. But I knew if I would have taken that more aggressive A-type personality, then I would have been voted off much earlier. Yeah.
And then just only for clarity, so with your game, it was just kind of get people to make certain acts that would end up being bad for them?
I felt like coming into the merge, I was kind of like a David in a David versus Goliath sense, where I wanted all the Goliaths to kind of go against each other, and if I could sort of nudge somebody one way or nudge something the other way, like with the David S and the Megan both playing their immunity idols, I was well aware that was about to happen, and I was like, why don't you guys just both play it and let's see what happens. So it was more about after the merge, when I was completely out of allies, just sort of saying like, hey, you do this, hey, you do that, and I'm gonna keep on sneaking by while everybody else topples down around me.
Thank you, guys.
All right. David W.
Congratulations, guys. First off, you were aware that Megan and David were going to play their idols?
I was aware that they were gonna play their idols. I wasn't aware that you were gonna be the person voted off.
Gotcha. And so you didn't lie to me the entire game, right?
I did not at all.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Were you honest with anybody this entire game?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I was honest with a lot of people. Basically, when I was having conversations with you, I was putting myself in a position to get to the end and play the game. If you guys think I'm the villain and the liar of the group, I'll take credit, not credit for that, I'll own it. I did manipulate, and I just made sure that I was not in a position where I was gonna be the main target, but every single person besides you, I knew was going home when they were going home. You were the only one I didn't know that you were getting those 2 votes. So although we're all fans of the show and we watch and we say, let's reward someone who played a strategic game, I hope that's how you can look at my game and not take it as hurt feelings if you feel like I deceived you. I played a game that we all loved, and I tried to play it strategically, and that's how I played.
And Chris, what's one big move you made this game?
Truthfully, writing down your name.
Okay. Take that. Thank you, guys.
Elise, you're up.
Hey, great guy, job, everybody. You're all great. I already know who I'm voting for, so sorry, you really can't sway me. Bye!
David S.
Hey, I don't have much to say. I already got my lock. I already got my vote pretty much on lock. I will clarify something. You did know about the David leaving, though, because I told you.
Oh.
So,
All right.
David W. I remember telling you. But aside from that, I got my vote on lock, so I'm good.
If that was the case, then I don't.
Joe?
Such a tough act to follow. Chris, you used a word earlier and you didn't mean to attribute it to yourself, and I truly believe you didn't mean to attribute it to yourself. You used the word weasel, and I wouldn't call you a weasel. I think that's directed to your left. I would have to say, and my question is for you, since we had a connection so early on in the game, and we had kind of that alliance.
Definitely.
And then I find later that you had the alliance with Marshall.
Yep.
Standing here facing all these jury members,
Yeah.
tell them at what point loyalty to the people around you was upped by your own independence.
Yeah. So I obviously was working with you for so long, and I was genuine all the time I was working up with you until the round where you went. Basically when it got after Elise was coming after you and wanted to start flipping on red, that's when I made the decision to start going after the people who I thought were going to be my biggest threats. I came to you and said, Elise wants you out. We took out Elise. Then going down the line, it's who is the biggest threat in my way to get to the end, and you were one of them. Physically, every single challenge, everyone knows you were always at the top 2 or winning. So that's when I had to decide, do I keep going with Joe, or do I have to decide to take out Joe with other people? And that's for you specifically. So I guess, bigger picture, I was working with a lot of people. I was working with everybody at some point in the game. And I felt like when the shift of the balance was for someone I had to go against, for myself to get into the finals and have a shot to win or to fight to win, that's when I had to make the move to take out someone who was a threat. And I think you were physical, Megan social, everyone would have loved to vote for you in the end. Chad physical, Marshall social as well. So it was just kind of a balancing act. And I apologize if you feel like I was the weasel, and I played a game where I wanted to get to the end.
All right, Megan?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I would like to know from each of you who on the jury you orchestrated them leaving and why.
I might not have been the person that was like, I want this person to go, but this person to go, but I was always with the majority vote for each person. So I didn't specifically orchestrate anything, but I did go to Marshall, unless Marshall was already playing me at the time. But I did go to Marshall at about the final 9, and I was like, I do want to turn this so that the bottom feeders, and this was before Justin won any immunity challenges, would be the people at the end, so that we would all have a more fair chance against each other, besides playing against people who won immunity. But there wasn't like a specific person. It was more of a Sandra Diaz sort of situation where I was thinking like, anybody but me.
After David W., I had a hand in voting out every single person. David S., he was crazy, and I never talked to him once. I was never on his tribe, so I never had any sort of connection as a game player with Joe. Physical threat, he had to go, and otherwise I wanted to start winning immunity challenges. You, socially, if we were next to you in the end here, we would have no shot in winning. The jury wanted a girl, wanted you to be here. Chad, physical threat, very likable, played strategically, was a part of all the moves that we were making together with Marshall. Marshall, this was obviously one of my toughest because we'd been working together from the beginning, but I knew I would have the best shot if I made the decision to go against Marshall. If I brought him with me, it would have been a Tina Wesson Colby move where he would be winning this game. So I apologize, Marshall, but I knew I had to go after you. So from David on, I had a role and a hand in everyone.
Well, wait, are you saying that you were the one that orchestrated each
No, I
boo? Or
helped,
that you,
yes,
Well,
yes.
then I helped with each boo as well, too.
No.
Then I'm saying that for sure.
I mean, I did vote for everyone standing here the time that they went, except for Chad. And I think my biggest move was David W. outside of Alonzo earlier. But that was not personal. It was more so that his name was the only name thrown out outside of the 2 people going. So then my brain started going like, where can this be directed? Where can I put myself in a better position for the next ones? And I will admit, I don't think I necessarily was always pulling every string, but I think I was listening to everyone pulling all the strings, and I knew where to make sure that the string wasn't on my shoulder. And I think that's why I'm here.
God.
I think I'm mostly set. I'm have maybe a little bit of a split. I guess I want to allow you to dig yourself out of a hole if you can. That move to save, sorry, I'm so tired.
Marshall.
Yeah. At the end, was very risky for you because you knew that if he was standing in this group, he would be winning tonight. So you saved him and hoped that he would be voted out. That was luck.
No, I saved him because I thought I would have a better shot going up against him in an immunity challenge. So I felt that if I still saved Marshall, I could beat him in an immunity challenge. And I fought my heart out and I took that risk and I did. And you guys saw it went down to the end between the 2 of us. So I felt like if you were still in the Final 4 with us and you won immunity, which I felt you had the best shot, you guys would have flipped on me.
Cool, thanks.
All right, Marshall?
up, y'all. Wound's still fresh. Good job, guys. That was super fun. Chris, I wanted to get you out so early, man, and you just kept scrapping, and it's awesome. Congrats, man. That was really fun to watch. Andy, you were together for a pretty long time, and no one really knew about it, and that was pretty fun. So
I had a great time with that.
yeah, and thank you for giving that shot for me at the end. I blew it. And then Justin, I mean, we were together the whole time, man. So it's hard to process everything right now because it just happened, but I just want to know from each of you, what was the single biggest solo move that you made throughout the game that you came up with in your own head, you got the numbers, and you did it?
For me, that was definitely getting out Alonso earlier. I knew when I got on to a tribe with 2 reds, 2 greens, and 1 yellow at that point, that I was hearing all over the place, get out the red. I have to vote for this threat that's like orchestrating it. And then I was like, oh, he has 2 votes. And if him and Andy voted for me, and me, Elise, and my God, it's been so long. I don't even remember who was on the tribe with me at that point.
David.
David is.
Okay, yes, sorry, David. I thought that would split, and then having Alonso out right there would, boom, like his vote not counting, and I think that saved my ass, making sure that happened.
That was my idea to vote out Alonso.
All right.
Well,
if it's not your turn on the jury.
Okay, you have a 2-part answer real quick? Yeah. Okay. First part was when I was on the yellow tribe, where I was in the minority with William, and it was me and the 2 girls, and oh my gosh, what's the name? So I convinced the girls to keep me and not using the idol, so I could have the idol the rest of the game in case I needed to use it. And we came up with a strategy that would allow that to happen. So I had that idol that we created together in case we needed to, or I needed to use it. So that was 1. And then 2, I think Elise was the moment where I started going into the driver's seat, where Elise came to me and said she wanted to get out Joe. I went to you and said, Elise wants Joe out. This is where we can take the game and start taking control of this game. I went to Joe, and that then trickled down for us to start blindsiding people, and I was a part of those moves.
For me, it was right after Alonso was voted off, and I felt like I didn't know what was going on Matador with Aubrey and David W. at the time. We went to the Pirates Cove, the new Topanga tribe, and I found the clue to the hidden immunity idol in the peanut butter once my tribe had almost completely given up on that. And I decided I'm gonna actually share this with everybody because I need to ingratiate myself with these new people. And I was able to share that clue, and then we all found the clue together. I gave that up because I wanted to, give them the power to that, and I felt like that took a lot of the edge off of me as we got into the merge, and their focus went somewhere else so that I could continue to slide by.
Y'all did a great job.
Brief final statement, and then we're gonna go vote. Andy, start with you.
I feel like people might be thinking that I didn't really make any moves, but I just want to say that I had a really great time today, and I liked playing with everybody. It's been a blast. My best bet was I didn't know a lot of you people coming into the merge, so when I saw all the leaders, all the captains fighting at the beginning, I was just kind of like, let's just have them all battle against each other. And I always wanted to play like an Ethan Zahn or a Sandra Diaz sort of approach and let all the big names topple each other and see how far I could get. And I feel like I at least felt like I accomplished today what I wanted to.
Justin?
To echo that, I had an awesome time playing with everybody, and I really hope that if you think I'm a weasel, I apologize. I played a game I love, we all love it, and I hope that when you vote with who you think played the best strategic game and not based on, emotions and that. I think when we watch the show, we always think we can do that, and I hope that we can do that, because I do feel like out of the three of us up here, I feel like I played the best strategic game, and I had made genuine connections with you guys. I loved meeting you, hanging out with you, and I hope to continue that after, and thank you so much.
Well, for me, when I got here this morning, I thought I was going to be the crew. So I, at the last second, had to develop a strategy, a gameplay. I had no idea that I was going to be doing this, so I felt like I thought quick on my feet. I was able to, even if I didn't orchestrate all or many or some of the biggest moves, I was able to always put myself in the right place, and I do feel like I dug myself out of a lot of holes after the tribe swap, after Elise got voted off, who I was obviously close with, and I think that I was able to make sure that I was always on, for the most part, on the right end of everything. And I do, honestly, I had the best fucking time playing this game. I really didn't expect to make it this far, to love it this much, and to like meet people that I feel like I want to hang out with outside of this. So however you guys vote, I think you're all great. Thank you.
All right, and with that, we will turn the power over to the jury, and the jury is going to vote for a winner. Remember, you're voting for the person that you want to win.
Well, didn't think I'd be here. It was crazy. So, I just, I don't think I can vote for a weasel right now. I can only vote for the golden weasel.
Started together, green strong, and I'm happy to see that you made it this far. I think you played a great game. You had your back against the wall for most of the merge, and you somehow managed to get to the final three without winning any immunity challenges. That's pretty impressive. So I hope you win, bud.
I'm voting for Justin because I think it's super obvious. He played the best social, strategic game. He beat all of us. You know, I'm sure there are things that he's saying that are slightly skewed truth, but as far as I'm concerned, Chris and Andy were always making sure they were on the right side of the vote, and Justin was always making sure he was the one orchestrating the vote, and that is the big difference between his game and their game. So, my vote's for Justin. I hope you win. You deserve it.
I'm voting for Chris because he was my ride or die. Really great job. He stayed into the final three, so good job, boo. I hope you win it. $115. What are you gonna do?
All right, go ahead.
Well, I want to thank Justin for his Miss America speech, but some people don't like to be talked at, they like to be talked to. So, my vote, and I'm very happy to be writing his name, is for Andy.
All right. And my vote actually did change on the last, little talks, I guess. But I think he actually played the best game. I didn't really like his personality that much, but at the same time, he did play a good game. And I didn't really get to talk to him or play with him, or we didn't talk strategy at all. But he did win me over with his, kind of like his speech at the very end. I was actually going to vote originally for Andy.
I believe that you played a good game, and you know, even though you lied to my face, that's part of the game. So I hope that this is you.
It's been a long day. We're about to find out who is the winner, the survivor, LA Pirates Cove. I'll read the votes. This time you want to see your name. All right. First vote, Justin. Next vote, Chris. One Justin, one Chris. Andy. One Justin, one Chris, one Andy. Justin. Two Justin, one Chris and Andy. Andy. Two Justin, two Andy, one Chris. Justin. 3 Justin, 2 Andy, 1 Chris. Andy. Justin and Andy are tied 3-3. And the winner, Survivor LA, Pirates Cove, Season 8, is Andy. Congratulations, Andy.
Oh my God. Wow, thank you guys. Thank you. Wow. Oh my gosh. I can get my Nintendo Switch now. Oh man. Wow.
Good job.
You guys played such a good game.
Good job.
Congratulations,
Such a good
Andy.
game. Here's your winnings.
Wow.
Congratulations, Justin on 2nd place.
Thank you.
Chris on 3rd
I'll take
place.
it. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody. Let's huddle in. All
Thank
right?
you.
Another great season of Survivor. I said this last time at the beach. I don't know if I ever want to come back. It's kind of awful out here. But you know what? It was a fun day and great cast. And yeah, see you next time. Woo!